But today we want to show you how to make a homemade version so that you control the vegetables that you put in and you control the quality of the ingredients. And that's the most important distinction. We want to stay away from some of the corn syrup that's added to the tomato sauce that you'll see. Cornstarch and hydrogenated oils are often used in some of these processed products. So just from a heart disease prevention standpoint, we want to choose some higher quality oils.
For sure, and when you're in control of the flavors, again, you can customize the taste to your preference. So that's kind of the best thing about it. So we're gonna do a Puttanesca pizza pocket. So does anyone know what a Puttanesca sauce is? So it's like an Italian style sauce. Some of the Italian recipes are named after certain things. I don't know who comes up with the names, but Puttanesca kind of means lady of the night. So the idea is that this is a late night sauce. That it's yeah, exactly. A midnight snack.
This is not your child's pizza bucket.
I didn't say that. Yeah,
this is the adult version.
The adult version. Yeah. So it's a very quick and easy sauce. And we're going to start off with some onions. Again, you can customize the flavors. Some of the key components to a Puttanesca are usually olives, capers, sometimes a little chili, sometimes a little anchovy. You make it the way you want it. So starting off with a little bit of onion. So a little bit of oil in a pan. And we have some onion on the go. There's a little bit of garlic in here as well. Now you can add dried chili if you like. Dried oregano is one of my favorites in sauces. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. You can find these packages at some of the grocery stores now, which is really nice, and they're not expensive. They're only like $2, $3. And you kind of keep them on the package, and then when you need a little bit, you just crush the bag, and your oregano falls through. So a little bit of oregano, a little bit of salt. And you're going to let that saute just for a couple minutes, just until, I mean, we're not caramelizing the onions, but we want them to soften a little bit. We want to get a little bit of color. And then we're going to go ahead and add some zucchini. So I'm going to just speed this up a little bit, but add the zucchini.
You could add whatever vegetables you enjoy to this.
For sure. Yeah, actually zucchini is not really a common ingredient. But I mean, Puttanesca came from the idea of that whatever, you come home late from the discotheque, and whatever's in the fridge, you put together to make a quick sauce. So if you had some onions on hand, if you had some olives, some zucchini, whatever, it's really kind of a clean up
whatever
the fridge
veggies
sauce.
You have on hand, which is what I love about so many of these Italian recipes.
And we're gonna add a few olives and a few capers. Now remember, they're a little bit saltier, so you don't add too much salt at the beginning. Taste it at the end. If you have to add a little bit more, adjust the seasoning, then do. But remember that they do contain a little bit of salt in them.
Olives and capers are both things that I recommend to individuals who have gone through cancer treatment or are in treatment and are finding that food doesn't taste the same, or there's a real lack of taste. Because these are such flavorful ingredients, they can really get the salivary glands working, and they can really help you to taste your food rather than pouring salt all over everything, which is sometimes the only thing that works in order to taste some of these flavors. So especially in a recipe where you're going to have some sweet ingredients, if you're doing like a sweeter salad, you can definitely add some olives to that. Or if you're doing like a sweeter dressing, adding a few capers in will help to balance some of those sweet flavors that sometimes can turn people off when they're going through radiation or chemotherapy.
So just a couple minutes, let that heat through a little bit, and then we're going to add some canned diced tomatoes, unsalted. You can add just regular fresh tomatoes as well.
And check out your labels when you're buying canned tomatoes. You want to, if you can, try to look for canned foods that are BPA free. And more consumers are demanding that we don't have BPA in our cans. And for those of you who don't know, it's basically a chemical that's used as a preservative, and it acts like an estrogen in the body. So it's considered to be safe, but in large amounts, it can mimic estrogen. So trying to reduce your exposure is important.
And that's it. So we're going to just bring it to a boil. It's already starting to bubble, and it's going to take a couple minutes, and the sauce is done. And that's how quick, really, really quick it is. And then we're going to finish it with, just a little bit of fresh basil, just kind of roughly chopped up. And we can let that, I'm going to let it slowly simmer. But you're going to put it to the side, let it cool. And this is what it looks like. I've got a little bit of grated cheese, and now I'm ready to make those pockets. And now this is a great recipe, like Christy was saying before, where you can batch cook. You're making a big pot of the sauce. You can use that night for a nice pasta, and the rest of it you use as a filling. And if you have the time, it's not the quickest recipe to
This is one of those lazy Sunday, get the family involved or get a friend over and make a big batch and split it,
Yeah, and it's
when you have the time to do it, it'll have lots of snacks for you for the next few weeks.
For sure, yeah. It freezes very, very well. And so what we're doing is, I got a little bit of pizza dough here. Now you can use the store-bought one. I've added a quick step on how to make your own from scratch. It's really, really easy to make from scratch. So we're gonna flatten it out, and if you got a pin, just try to get it as thin as possible, but not so thin where
you don't want it to break.
Yeah, not like thin crust pizza, for instance. So if you can see through the dough, that's great for thin crust pizza, but it's not ideal for this because it'll break open. So we're gonna just roll it out. If the dough has a lot of gluten, which this one obviously does, it's pulling back in, so it makes it a little more difficult. And then you can either cut them into squares, whatever shape you want, or if you have a glass, you can cut out a couple circles, and then you can just add a little bit of that Puttanesca sauce in there. And it's a chunky sauce, so it's not going to be falling all over the place, which is nice. Add a little bit of cheese on top. Really, really simple. This is a great one to get everyone making them.
Yeah,
and
if you wanted to have different ingredients on the side, people could make their own varieties, so you don't get the same flavors. If people have different needs in your home, for example, if you're trying to watch your weight or lose weight, and there's someone else who's struggling with trying to put weight on, you can always adjust the filling so that you're adding some extra cheese, some pesto, some high-calorie ingredients, extra olive oil in your sauce, whereas for the rest of the family, bulk up on the vegetables, and you can add a lighter cheese, like a ricotta, for example.
Do you want to make another one?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you missed my folding technique, you can watch Christy's. And then to seal
I
it...
wasn't paying attention.
You're on your own. And to seal
test.
it, you can just use a fork and just, crimp. So you just press into it. I know some people you can use like an egg wash. That'll seal it. But again, that's an extra step that you really don't need to do. This does a pretty good job. And that's it. That's ready to go in the oven as is. Or, like I said, if you have time, make 40, 50 of them and pop them in the freezer like this. They freeze very, very well. And then when you want one or you want two or 5, you throw them in the oven. And it takes about 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just until it's golden brown. It doesn't take any time at all. Yes, question?
Is there a difference between using the pizza dough and if you do dough for rolls, like dinner rolls? Is there a difference?
You can use them as well. The ingredients are going to be a little different. I think the dinner roll ones might have, I don't know if they have shortening in them. It depends on the brand, but you can definitely use that. You can use phyllo. You don't want to eat parchment. You use phyllo dough as well, which is a little thinner. So you can definitely use that. Yeah, for sure. I've seen people use. If it's raw, yes. If it's raw, it'll freeze. Yeah.
But after you bake that,
Not after you bake it.
you can't freeze the pizza bucket after you.
After you bake
it's
it,
been baked?
you can. I would suggest freezing it before, just because you're gonna have to heat it up after anyways, and it might kind of get overcooked or soggy. So I would probably do it. Yeah, freeze them like this, raw state. Yeah. Yeah.
And don't overstuff, if everyone can see mine.
Yeah.
Mine is less a pocket and more kind of folded over center. I love the filling more than the crust. That's my problem.
So that's it. So you bake them, bake them in the oven. They come out really nice and crispy. And I mean, they're homemade. They're supposed to. They're going to look like the ones out of the box, but they're not supposed to. And if you have a little bit of that sauce left, I always like a lot of sauce. So you can put a little bit, on top. And I mean, that's good for any time of the day.
Everybody in your house is going to love this.
Late night snack, midnight snack.
Exactly. Snack of the evening.
So that's it. Very, very easy. It's from scratch pizza pocket with a Puttanesca sauce. Very quick.
Thanks, guys.